gotta get comfy. Hello. Hi. Welcome back to my channel. My name is LJ, if you're new here. Today, we're gonna be crocheting, because that's what we do here, and yap. And, I take a few hits. So, if you want to, you can crochet, you can sesh, you can just listen, I don't mind, whatever you want to do. I want to start this video off by talking about how I'm doing, and we're gonna start crocheting. I am okay. Like I mentioned in my last video, which I filmed a few days ago, today is Sunday. I also want to mention, did I spill on my bed? I must have. I want to mention that, video uploads. I will be uploading on Saturdays more often than not. Today is Sunday and I uploaded today because I couldn't edit until yesterday, so I was just like, I'm just gonna film it and upload it on Sunday, but from now on videos will be uploaded on Saturdays, so let's take a hit because I want to. If you tuned into my last video, you will know that I was kind of going through hell, and that's not to say that I am not still, but I have had a few days to process everything. I filmed a little bit on Friday. I didn't upload it because it was making the video really long, and I was just like, you know, it's not needed. But sorry if you can hear my cat running around. She's zooming me right now. I am at a very low point right now. I'm not gonna lie. Do I feel better right now? Yes, and that's why I decided to film. Do I think it's gonna last? No. But I'm feeling okay. I want to address that it's okay to not be okay and still have good days. Which is really hard to recognize sometimes, especially if you're in like the depths of depression and shit like that. It's really hard to recognize that, like, hey, it's okay to have good days, because a lot of us don't like that, and I'm trying to explain why. If you've been in depression for a very long time, then it's really hard to get out of it. It's scary. It's uncomfortable to get out of your depression. And that's something that I've dealt with for years, because I, for a very long time, was really depressed. I'm talking years. And that's not to say that I don't still deal with depression, but I'm on medication that does help, thankfully. But getting out of it is hard, you know? Getting out of your sadness and letting yourself be happy is really difficult. Now, I didn't mention this in my last video, but frankly, this is a little secret. I filmed my first video 3 times. One time was on my phone. So 2 times were on my phone, actually. And one of them was at my dorm. I am obviously not in my dorm right now, but I filmed it on my phone and it would just not upload. I had to basically send it to somewhere else to be able to edit it, and that was not working. So then I was like, okay, scrap that, whatever, we'll survive. I got this camera from my mother because I love her and she loves me, and she's letting me keep this camera until I get my own, which God knows when that'll be. But then I tried to film it on my phone a second time before I got this camera, and I ran into the same problem. So I was like, okay, whatever, we'll just wait until we get the camera. So then I got the camera, and I filmed my first video, uploaded it, so there's that. But in one of the renditions I mentioned, the uncomfortability, that's really hard to say, uncomfortability. I used to say comfortable all the time. I don't as much anymore. I usually just say comfortable. And that's just a fun little tidbit about me. But being happy again can be really uncomfortable. And if you've ever dealt with severe depression, you've either dealt with that before or you're dealing with that right now. By the way, I am crocheting the same top. I'll put it in the description, but I'm crocheting the same top that I started with last video. I'm finally onto the sleeve. It's an asymmetrical top. So, I'll show you. It basically starts down here, and then there's the strap, and then it's gonna come down. So, there's that. If you want to create this, I'll link the pattern in the description, so you can go create it, make it, crochet it. There we go. But being happy is really uncomfortable sometimes. And I recognize that, for sure. I've dealt with that so much, and I've been dealing with that a lot recently through this shit that I'm dealing with. Being uncomfortable, being happy is normal. It really is. One thing that my therapist mentioned to me is she was like, uncomfortability in a safe space is not actually safe, if that kind of makes sense. Like, the concept of it's uncomfortable to be in peace when you're comfortable in misery. But do we really want to be comfortable in our misery, you know? Sometimes the answer is yes, because we know it. But we're not happy. We're not joyful. We can't find those things. And that's not healthy, frankly. I don't think any of us believe that it is healthy. But sometimes our mind makes us believe that it is, you know? So, being uncomfortable in peace can be extremely difficult. Trust me, I know. I was there at a point recently that I felt comfortable in peace again. And I hope I can get back to that point. Right now, I don't know if it's the concept of wanting to keep a happy face, but when I film, it's a lot easier to be happy, or to seem happy. I don't really know why. Maybe it's because it's like I have to put up a front, which I don't mean to. I'm really good at it though. I'm really good at putting up a front, and people will mention to me, like, I'll think that I'm not masking, and they'll be like, but you seem perfectly fine, and it's like, I'm sorry, what? What do you mean I seem okay? I am not okay. And maybe that's because I recognize when I'm okay and when I'm not, and what I act like when I'm not okay. And when I am okay. It's one of those deals that being comfortable in the unknown is really hard. Sorry, that just kind of hit me for a sec. I'm in a really big unknown right now, to say the least. It's terrifying. It's terrifying, and I wish that I didn't have to deal with it, right? But I do. And there will always be unknowns. There will always be fear. One of the things that is very prevalent if you're in recovery from anything is to feel the fear and do it anyway. It's very prevalent. Because you'll never recover if you don't do what you're scared of. I think I'm going to be dealing with that a lot recently, or in the near future. I'm going to be dealing with that a lot. Also, sorry if you can hear the washing machine. It's right across from my room, and like I mentioned in the last video, I don't have a door. But I hope it's not too distracting, because that would be not fun. I'm at the end of my row, so we're going to take another hit. Cheers. This is at 0, by the way. It's not burnt yet, because they don't burn very quickly, thank goodness. But I'm at 0. I started Saturday the 1st. Today is the 9th. Today's the 9th. I started at 95%. For the record, I've been hitting it more since Wednesday. Because of shit going on, right? But I lost my scissors. I found my scissors. Aren't these pretty? Look at these. I don't know if you can really see them. Yeah, you can. Look at how pretty they are. They're okay. They work fine. You kind of have to have them at the right angle for them to actually, like, snip snip. But they're nice. I literally just got them at Walmart. Where I go for school is a very small town. Basically, we only have a Walmart and nothing else. Which is pretty typical for small towns, I feel like, but I got those at Walmart. At this yarn, I don't know where I found it, honestly. I got a bunch of yarn from people, that were like, yeah, I'm never gonna use this, and I know you use yarn like a behemoth, like a madman, and so they just gave me yarn. I don't know where I found this yarn, but I was like, you know, I don't know when I'm gonna use this yarn, but I'm glad I am using it, because it's actually working up very nicely. I mean, look at that. Like, it's really pretty, and then, it has the little hints of this tan, and they work perfectly. It's really nice. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent. Back to the topic. It could be uncomfortable to be okay. And that's normal for someone who deals with depression, anxiety, PTSD, any sort of recovery. Like, I've been in recovery from an ED for years. I'm doing really well, honestly. Like, I'm doing really well in my recovery, which is really good. But at first it was really hard, and it was also hard to celebrate my accomplishments, you know, because it's like, shouldn't this be difficult? And sometimes it was, sometimes it wasn't. But when it wasn't, that was difficult. Because it was like, well, do I really have this if I'm not struggling? And the answer is yes. You do not need to struggle in recovery all the time to recover. You don't. And sometimes we forget that a lot of the time, I feel like. Because it's like, well, if I'm not struggling, do I really have it? But if you think about it, do you want to be stuck in that loop of misery forever? Like, genuinely. I know a lot of the times, especially with depression, our brains tell us, like, yeah, this is what I know, this is what I want to feel. But do you? Do you want to be stuck in misery forever? I struggled with the concept of happiness as a choice a lot of the time. Because it was like, how the hell do you mean that it's a choice? Like, I have this illness in my brain that literally keeps me from being happy. Happy? That keeps me from being happy. But that's not how I see it anymore, right? Like, sure, I have this illness in my brain that keeps me from being happy. That's a given. I know that for a fact. However, making the decisions to be happy or to stay in our misery is our choice. My hook is completely stuck. Okay, as I was saying, staying in our misery is our choice too. Which is really hard to recognize sometimes. Because it's like, I don't want to stay in this misery, but I feel like I have to. And you don't. You don't have to stay in it. You genuinely don't. And it'll take time. It'll take time to recognize that for sure. But it's the truth. You... bitch. You don't have to be miserable. As much as our brains tell us we do, we don't. there will be times when the misery kicks in and there's very little we can do about it, but it doesn't mean that there's nothing we can do about it. Like I mentioned in my last video about mental crises coping skills, do those. You always have a choice, no matter what. Now, in the same vein, sometimes, especially if you deal with PTSD, your choice is to survive, right? It's like, I know what I'm doing is wrong, but I need to survive. And it's terrifying, because you know it's going to mess everything up later on. And that's a hard one, for sure. If you can't tell, I deal with PTSD. It's pretty obvious, I feel like, from what I've talked about. And I deal with a lot of other things that I'll probably talk about in other videos. Just this video isn't the one, but PTSD is hard to live with. It's not easy. It's hell. It's hell. And sometimes it is the concept of get through what's going on, just survive, keep going. You have to keep going. Because if you don't, nothing will get better. And sometimes it feels like there is no getting better. But there is. There always is. There's never going to be a time when getting better isn't an option. Now, will it take a lot of time? Yeah, it will. But it's necessary. And I mentioned that a lot in the last video. It's necessary to get better. I think one of the things to also think about in the uncomfortability of getting better is to praise your accomplishments, which is hard to do, trust. Sometimes we don't want to celebrate what we did. But even small victories count when you're dealing with mental illness, or even if you're just living a normal day and you're a normal person. Because getting up out of bed is an accomplishment. Getting dressed is an accomplishment. Doing something like brushing your teeth, eating food, something like that is an accomplishment. And to some people it'll be like, that's normal, why would you struggle with that? But if you clicked on this video, I think you're not normal like me. Those things are hard. Those things are hella hard to do. And take baby steps. One of my favorite, there's this movie called What About Bob? My dad showed it to me, it's funny as hell. But the main thing about it is baby steps. Baby steps, Dr. Marvin. It's a fantastic show. I got my dad out of actually doing therapy for a living, which is kind of funny. But if you watch the movie, you understand why, for sure. But there's some merit to that, about taking baby steps, for sure. Because sometimes it's all you can do. And sometimes it's what you need to do. Take those baby steps. I'm so sorry that I'm really bad at filming my crochet. I have chronic back pain, okay? I have big honking knockers that have kept me from having a stable back, and I get back pain a lot, and I'm getting it right now, which is why I'm like not sitting up straight. Let me see if I can bring this down a little bit. I got this tripod when I got a ring light, which I'm not using. It's broken. I don't know how it broke, but it doesn't work. But I have a different tripod at my dorm that I'm going to be using. I'm not going to take this one home with me, but it's a good little tripod in all things considered. So it's kind of, oh shit, it's kind of working for what we need, which is all that it needs to do. That's kind of real though. Do what you need to do, and that's good enough, right? Not every day is gonna be 100%, especially when you deal with mental illness. Not every day is 100%, and that's okay. Hold on, I need to do this very carefully. I put a thing in a chain that is not woven in, and so it's kind of being stupid, but I think I figured it out. I'm gonna do this real quick. I am switching every other color, every other row to the different color, which is giving me so many ends I need to weave in. Like, I mean, it's terrible. I literally thought to myself, I was like, I need something that's gonna take a long ass time to be able to get through this shit. And I accomplished that goal, but it's taking a long ass time. And weaving in the ends is gonna be a nightmare, but I'm gonna do it, and I'm not gonna complain. I will complain, actually. I will complain a lot, but I'm gonna do it because it needs to happen, right? And that's perfectly okay. Let me fix this real quick. Okay, we're just gonna chain there. I'll fix that later. Sorry, I was biting my lip. Don't do that, by the way. I say as I keep doing it. Another point. We're gonna take a hit. Let me know what you're doing in the comments below while you watch this. I'm really grateful for all the people in my life that are supporting me with this content. I really appreciate it. I posted it on my Snapchat, and I had a few people reach out to me and say, hey, I'm watching your video. And it meant a lot. Because this is something that I've wanted to do for a while now. Probably about a month or so. And I started at a really vulnerable time. Which, the fact that people are supporting me through this vulnerable time means, it means the world to me. It means more than the world. It means a lot. But yeah, let me know what you're doing while you watch this. I'd love to know. I'd love to hear about what y'all are doing, because it would brighten my day, to say the least. I think I'll probably finish this row, and then we'll see where we go from there. Because, like, part of my thought process is to just, like, film until my camera dies, but this camera actually has a decent battery, so it films for quite a while, actually, which is really nice. This is the camera that my mom would use for my choir concerts, so, I mean, obviously she would turn it on and off, but it lasted her. So, also, sorry if the video quality is not good. I can only do so much right now, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm a broke college student. So, and my phone does not work. So, well, my phone works. My phone works fine, but it doesn't work for filming YouTube videos, just because of how it is. I mentioned that already. But yeah, I am very grateful for the support, honestly. I want to make this a weekly thing that I do, like film on Sunday, edit throughout the week, and then post it on Saturday. I think that'd be good for me, for everything. So, plan on that. Excuse me. I don't know if I'm going to keep that in or not. I know a YouTuber that was like, guys, I burped on camera. and they were like, I think that qualifies as like a like stepping stone into becoming a YouTuber is to burp on camera, which is so funny to me, but like hella accurate. So we love that, honestly. But yeah, so I'm just kind of going through the motions of stuff. I'm gonna be going home tomorrow, back down to college, which I think will be good. I'm kind of scared too, but I can't be cooped up here forever, in all honesty, and school starts again, so frankly, I need to go anyway, but with everything that's going on, it's kind of scary to go back down where I'll be, you know, with my parents, but I'll be okay. I'll be okay. This is coming out nicely. I like this. But yeah, I'm gonna end the video here. I'm getting kind of tired. I know this one is a bit shorter probably than my last video, but I hope it was still an enjoyable one. I'm just gonna chill. Videos might get longer as time goes on. It just kind of depends on what's going on. My plan is to like film for an hour and get in the groove of that and then edit it. These will probably be more long form videos because I enjoy like having a long video that I can just like sit and listen to while I do something. So I'm probably gonna do that. I encourage you to do something while you watch these videos, whether that's studying, crocheting, just listening to it while you play video games or something, whatever it is. I encourage you to do something and just like chill with me, you know what I'm saying? So, thank you for watching. My name is Leanna. Find the good in the day. I think I'm gonna keep saying that because it's really important to find the good in the day. Even if it's not a good day, find the good in the day. For instance, you woke up. That's a good thing, I promise. I'll see you guys later.